Esther's Laguna Woods show where every guest matters. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Jim Abdai, and he is with the Yacht Club. Hi, Jim.
Hi, Esther. Good seeing you.
So nice to have you on my show.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I retired about a little over 6 years ago and moved into Laguna Woods. My professional career, I spent about 40 years in the credit union industry. And the last 28 years I spent as Chief Executive Officer for Honda Federal Credit Union. We were the credit union for all the Honda companies in the United States. There's a quote that has stuck with me for years and years from Teddy Roosevelt. And the quote goes something like this, that the service that you render to others is really the rent that you pay for your time here on earth. So kind of keeping that quote in mind when I retired, one of the things I didn't want to do is just sit around and gather dust. So in the spirit of volunteerism and giving back to people, I got heavily involved in volunteering on a lot of stuff. So I've
Like what?
I've served on the board of American Legion Yacht Club. I'm currently on the board of American Legion Post in Newport Beach, which is the largest American Legion post in the world, 4,000 members. I'm the past president and board member for an organization called Catalina Marine Society. We do marine research projects out around Catalina and along the shore. I volunteer as the grow out manager for a project called White Sea Bass Project in Newport Harbor, where we actually grow out white sea bass in Newport Harbor. I volunteer at Ocean Institute. I'm an active scuba diver. That's got nothing to do with volunteering, but at least keeps me sane. But yeah, probably my greatest love right now is serving as, first of all, as treasurer for our Laguna Woods Yacht Club. I'm also one of the instructors at the Sailing Academy for Laguna Woods Yacht Club, and I'm a certified skipper for the club boat, which is a 30-foot sailboat that goes out every single day. I don't get to go out every single day, but I go out probably once every week, 10 days is my turn to take folks out. So that's kind of in a nutshell. A little bit about me.
I don't have to ask you any more questions. So what does it mean being a certified skipper?
Well, one of the perks of being a member of Laguna Woods Yacht Club is, again, the fact that the club owns this 30-foot sailboat that we keep in a slip in Dana Point Harbor. So once you become a member of the yacht club, through our website, members can sign up and actually go out for a sail on that sailboat. So there's currently 9 of us that are certified to take that boat out. So the club goes through a pretty intensive process to make sure that the skipper of that boat, when we take people out, we kind of like to come back with the same number of people that we leave with. It's always a good thing. So we go through this pretty intensive process of becoming certified. So again, I'm one of those skippers that they actually trust me to take people out and go for a sail.
What's the name of the boat?
Hiatus.
Hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
Who came up with that name?
I think that's probably some of the original club members. And when you think about it, here we are in a retirement community, a yacht club for retirees, and it's kind of nice periodically to take a hiatus.
I think the yacht club is the best kept secret,
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. We've got, and besides just going out for sailing, of course, over the last year, we haven't been able to do this, but we have a lot of social activities as well, picnics and happy hours. And we've been able to hold our membership meetings virtually through Zoom, which is still nice to get to be in person, but some of our membership meetings have been just incredible. We've got just wonderful speakers.
So, so how many people can be on the boat?
Well, right now, during, of course, COVID, we cut back to make sure that we're abiding by all of the rules of not only the village, but the state of California, uh, making sure that people are able to maintain social distancing on that boat, 6 feet apart. So right now, we only take out 4 people and the skipper. So it's only 5 people on the boat. During
And
the non-COVID times, we could have, 6, maybe even 7 people on the boat.
and how far can you go with the boat?
Well, it of course depends on the wind. And somebody once, a wag once described sailing as the fine art of going no place very slowly and getting very wet and very expensive at the same time. So keeping that phrase in mind, typically, we're doing, somewhere around 5 or 6 knots, which is probably like 7 or 8 miles an hour. It's not very fast, but when you're on a sailboat in the water, it can seem fast.
How big is the sailboat?
30 feet.
30
feet
feet.
long.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I saw that that you went into dolphins one time.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, this time of year, probably from December up through March, we tend to see a lot more dolphins, and we start seeing whales.
Really?
And yeah, not too long ago, I think about a month and a half or so ago, I was out with a group of folks from Laguna Woods, and this was kind of an unusual circumstance. We were sailing along, sea was fairly flat, just a gorgeous day, and I looked off to my right, and it looked like there was this huge wave out there, probably a quarter-mile long in an otherwise flat sea. I immediately knew what that was because I've seen it before, but not very often. But it was literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dolphins. And they were probably chasing a school of fish, feeding. But we were able to turn and go right along with all of these dolphins that came past us, jumping out of the water. It was just an incredible sight.
How far were there from the beach? I mean, how far out?
Oh, we were probably, that day we were probably out, I don't know, 7, 8 miles probably.
7, 8 miles. Wow.
Mhm.
So you do diving. You dive, huh?
I still dive, yes.
Yeah. So what are some of the fish that you see when you dive?
Well, in fact, I did a dive in September. I was with a group of people. We went to Catalina Island, a place called Emerald Bay. And there's a rock over there called Indian Rock. And at that dive, it was a great dive. The visibility was just absolutely fantastic. Saw eels, moray eels, saw lots and lots of lobster, Garibaldi, which are those bright orange colored fish. Now, it's probably been about 2 years ago, probably one of the best things that I saw around Catalina was a giant black sea bass. And this giant black sea bass was probably 5 to 6 feet long, weighs about 300, 350 pounds, very docile critter, and they're protected.
And I always thought that sea bass are really like small.
There are all kinds of different sea bass. These giant black sea bass are, big emphasis on the word giant. They're huge. They are huge.
Mm. So you are with the Ocean Institute?
I've been volunteering at Ocean Institute.
What do they do?
Well, right now they have 2 boats. You may remember here not too long ago, one of the square rigger boats that they had called the Pilgrim sunk at their dock, which was unfortunate. They still have one called the Spirit of Dana Point, which is a sailboat. And then they have about an 80-foot long power boat that they use for research projects. So right now, a lot of us who are volunteering are doing things like painting and chipping paint and rust and those kinds of things to get the boat, back into shape. I've done some diving for Ocean Institute, diving underneath their boat, to just kind of check out things. But right now,
Wow.
I'm painting and scraping.
Wow, that's interesting. Then you belong to the American Legion
Correct.
post. Yeah. What do you do there?
Well, my position on the board at the American Legion currently is I'm third vice commander. One of my responsibilities is the Boys State project. For the viewers who might not be familiar with Boys State, young men who are juniors in high school are selected by various American Legion posts. They're recommended by their schools. We send them to a week-long at a college campus where they learn exactly how government works. They go through elections, everything from the governor of California to city councilmen. It's a very intense learning experience for them. And these young men are just absolutely incredible. I mean, these are the cream of the cream. And it was such a pleasure going through and doing the interviews that we just did here a few weeks ago. We interviewed 30 young men for 25 positions. Very rewarding. Very rewarding.
That's very, very interesting. So how often do you do that?
We select people for Boys State just once a year.
Once a year you do that? Wow.
Right.
So yeah. So you have speakers. Your club always have different speakers.
Yes. Yeah. So, for example, the one that's coming up here next week is a lady by the name of Sharon Green. And Sharon Green is this world-renowned photographer who does photograph sailboat races all over the world. And they're just incredible photographs. And by the way, our membership meetings, they're open to the general public. You don't have to be a member of the yacht club. And it's a good way to find out a little bit about the yacht club. The speaker we had last month was a gentleman that talked about the history of Avalon. We've had Wendy Marshall, the chief executive officer from Ocean Institute, as a speaker. So just, really incredibly interesting people.
When you do the diving, how far do you go down?
Generally, I stay in the neighborhood of about 50 to 60 feet. Now, if you get much deeper than that, you really can't see much because it starts getting dark.
How long have you been diving? I mean, what got you into diving?
Well, it was anytime I'm out, in, on, around, or under the water, that's sort of my release. So I got involved in sailing and got involved in volunteering and things having to do with the water. And then finally scuba diving, because I would be out snorkeling and I'd see these wonderful sights. And I'd think to myself, I'd really like to be able to stay down there a little bit longer and see some of these critters. So I finally got certified kind of late in life for most people, but I got certified in 1994. So I've been very actively diving since then. And I got, shortly after I got certified, I then became a research diver at
what does
Wrigley.
That mean?
Well, Wrigley Institute for Environmental Studies, as part of University of Southern California, has a facility in two harbors in Catalina. And they had a number of research projects where we were basically gathering information. So one of the biggest projects we had was something called key species monitoring. So we had this long list of vertebrates and invertebrates that we were monitoring. So we would put down a line probably around 30, 40 feet under the water. This line was 100 meters long, and we would, every 5 meters, we would put out a piece of PVC pipe that would measure 1 square meter on either side. And the two teams of divers, we would count all of our key species that happened to be inside that meter. And it was, again, really fascinating kinds of things to do, because it was more than just boring a hole through the water. And it was a really it was an incredible learning experience. So sort of like citizen science.
So when you dive, how long do you stay, under?
Yeah. Again, it varies. The deeper you go, the less time that you're going to have on your air because of the pressure of the water, and how much activity that you're going through. Now, typically, I'll stay down if I'm just, it's a kind of a fun dive and I'm just kind of poking around, videotaping, taking pictures. Generally, I'll stay down probably 45 minutes to an hour.
How do you get ready for diving? Do you need to put, how do you get ready for it?
Well, it is an incredibly gear intensive sport. First of all, I don't like being cold. And typically, the diving in Southern California waters the water's cold out here. Like right now, the water temperature is only about 60 degrees. So you put on a wetsuit, a pretty heavy wetsuit. You put on fins, you've got a mask, usually wear a hood. There's sort of this jacket called a buoyancy compensator that you put on that holds your air tank and all of your gear. You've got a regulator. And then you've got to have all these weights that allow you to actually drop down into the water. By the time you're done, you probably have 60, 70, 80 pounds of weight that you're carrying with everything that you've got. So getting in the water is no fun. Once you're in the water, oh yeah, it's pretty nice.
Let's see. So you're gonna start some classes?
Yes, at our sailing academy at Laguna Woods Yacht Club is currently running. And we, at the beginning of the year, we have a fundamentals of sailing class. And this is just a beginner class. We have 16 people that are currently enrolled. We do a Zoom meeting every Monday morning from 9 until 10 o'clock, where we cover all the topics about how to sail and sail trim and terminology and all those kinds of things. And then on Tuesday mornings, we bring the entire class down to the dock at Dana Point so that people can have hands-on experience. And then we've also got people scheduled to go out at least one sail during the whole class time. And our classes ran from January 25th to March 6th, I think it is. And then what we hope to do is later on this year, have an intermediate sailing class. So this is for people that have either gone through our fundamentals class or, they've got some sailing experience and they just want to get a refresher. And if time permits, then we'll also have an advanced sailing class for people that maybe want to move on up and become one of the certified skippers at the club, or maybe people that want to go out and charter boats someplace else. So
how often does the boat go out?
It goes out every single day. Now we try to reserve a couple of days a month for the boat not to go out, because the boat going out this often, you can imagine, we need to do some maintenance on it periodically. Yes. But other than just a couple of days a month, we're going out every single day.
So do you need to make like reservations?
Yes. Yeah. Of course, you have to be a member of the club in order to go out. But we have a very robust website that allows people to do this online. And we also have an app that people can use on their iPhone or Android to actually sign up for sales or any of our events, those kinds of things.
Really? What's the name of the app?
It's called Wild Apricot. And it's a platform for membership management, basically.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's very interesting. So what are the, I mean, you told me what are the benefits? I mean, you get together like once a month on
Well,
a Friday.
yeah, it's,
I mean,
you know,
you sleep
going out and going sailing. It's first come, first serve. We ask our members, because it is, as you can well imagine, it's so popular. The days get filled up very, very quickly. And what we've asked our members to do is don't sign up for any more than 4 sails per month, so that we give more people an opportunity. And our members have been very good about adhering to that. So, besides being able to go out and go sailing, of course, we have the membership meetings. When we get past all this COVID, once a month, we would have a happy hour where we get together in, actually it was building 2400 in the rec center. We'd have wine and hors d'oeuvres, and people would mingle and get to know one another.
That sounds so wonderful. I'm going to join your club.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds wonderful. So what else can we say? Let's see.
Well, one of the other things that we've been doing is we've been doing some racing at the club. We've got several members of our club that get involved with sailboat racing. Our Commodore, Pat Rojak, very active in Women's Sailing Association. Tammy Rones, who heads up our Sailing Academy, is also very active in Women's Sailing Association. I've done a lot of racing. So
yeah, you told me one time that you did racing, and it takes like days.
Yeah, there's a race. Yeah, race. In fact, the picture in the background is a picture taken on a boat I chartered one year for a race that goes from Newport Beach to Ensenada, Mexico. The race has been going on since 1948 was the first race. In the mid 80s, it sort of hit its peak. There was one year where there were 675 boats in the race. But the race, it's about 130 to 150 miles long. It starts on a Friday at noon, and usually you're finished sometime Saturday afternoon. But I've finished the race as late as Sunday morning. So you can be out there for a couple of days.
So you go out in the same place to race? I mean, you all have the boats in the same location, and that's how you start, or with different places?
No, everybody starts just off of the Newport Beach Pier, off Newport Beach, and then everybody finishes right near the harbor entrance in Ensenada.
Ah.
Yeah, it is a fun race. I've done, over a period of, I don't know, some 40 years that I've been sailing, I've done 22 of the Newport Ensenada races.
Wow. We're almost running out of time. Do you want to add anything?
Well, I would certainly encourage people to take a look at Laguna Woods Yacht Club. As you said, it's a well-kept secret.
Yes.
So you could either just go on to Google and put in Laguna Woods Yacht Club and it'll pop up, or you can put in lwyachtclub.org is the address. But all of the information on the club is right there on that website. So I would certainly encourage people to take a look at it.
So how much are the classes?
The classes, or fundamentals class, are a whopping $15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Only $15.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. It was so nice having you on my show.
Well, thank you, Esther.
Thank you so much for being on my show.
It was my pleasure. My pleasure.
And you're going to see me at your yacht club.
Outstanding. Good. We'll take you out for a sail.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Sounds good. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you for watching. And next time we'll have another interesting guest. Thank you.